You see, the humble person is busy being humble, so much so that they don't recognize what humility even looks like. It's nothing you can show somebody. Humility is what it is. Humility exists in a person, and it cannot be captured or controlled, manipulated or programmed, imitated or packaged, bought or sold. It's learned and developed in the heart, and then it's walked out in a daily walk in order for it to be true in a person's life. The saying is true that once you think you're humble, you're not. Because a humble person takes the focus off of themselves. And even if you are humble and you fix your lips to brag or say something about being humble, you've just lost it. You're no longer humble. Humility is demonstrated in your walk and not in your talk. Humility is officially defined as knowing the true value of yourself or of oneself. It is the proper valuing of oneself and the proper love of oneself. What it means is that we don't overvalue ourselves, thinking that we are higher than we ought to think, but it also means that we don't undervalue ourselves, walking in low self-esteem and channeling all of our thoughts and all of our energies into ourselves. You know, wondering why nobody seems to like us, or why nobody ever agrees with us, or why nobody ever calls our name. That's low self-esteem. And you do know that low self-esteem causes us to become absorbed with ourselves. If you find that whenever you enter a room, you immediately size up the people in the room by how they respond to you, you might want to check your self-esteem. Low self-esteem by its nature seems to mean that you don't think highly of yourself, but the truth of the matter is low self-esteem causes you to obsess about yourself. Why did they look at me like that? Don't they see me? Don't they know who I am? Why did she say that? Why is he directing that at me? Why don't they call me to read the scripture? Somebody done said that already. Why is he in charge and I'm not? It's all about me. Me, Joyce Meyer says, we need to get over ourselves. We go around saying, what about me? What about me? That's what low self-esteem is. The focus is always on you. Humility, practicing humility, learning humility, developing in humility, and then living in humility can free us from our low self-esteem. Humility gives us the opportunity to get our mind off of ourselves and focus it on the things of God. Humility will not allow us to focus on things and how they affect us, but it will position us to be sensitive to and to respond to the things that affect the kingdom. A humble person is a person who has a balanced and healthy sense of self and knows how to operate in light of their strengths and their weaknesses. I'm going to say it again. A humble person is a person who has a balanced and healthy sense of themselves and knows how to operate in light of their strengths and their weaknesses. You don't allow your weaknesses to overshadow your strengths. I read years ago in one of the devotionals, it said that humility comes not in denying your talents, but in knowing their limitations. A humble person knows their talents, but also knows the limits of the talents. He or she knows that our talents and gifts are not the only talents and gifts in town. Oh, God can take a nobody, y'all know that saying, and use him or her to tell everybody. Is what we talked about this morning in class, to tell somebody about a person who can change anybody. A humble person doesn't compare him or herself to other people. They only look at themselves in relation to God and determines where they stack up to the one who matters most, a holy God. A humble person looks first to a God who is ruler over all things and then pictures his or her role in God's kingdom based on their relationship with God. A humble person recognizes that it is through their surrender and submission to God that he or she is able to tap into God's divine plan and purpose for their life and begin to live in the center of God's will.